Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 490. We are live tonight. Monday, July 25th. I'm Lucas. I am joined tonight by Phil.
Good evening.
And Catherine.
Hello.
And Paul.
What up?
There we go. Zaldron's got the book club going already, so...
I guess the show's over, right?
No, so he switched it. He started doing it at the beginning of the show instead of the end of the show, so, you know.
I thought he always bookended it. No pun intended.
Yeah. I don't think he did that initially, but yeah.
That's wise to get, I doubt 100% of viewers make it to the end of the show, so it's better advertising.
They should, because we're awesome.
The ones that we care about.
Yeah.
I actually feel like we get more live viewers the later we're on than the earlier. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's just because people start scrolling on YouTube and they see, oh, hey, look, they're live. Let's go check this out or what.
Like, there's no more Proto Man news. What else is going on in Transformer Land? What's this TFYLP?
Or they just realize that we get more off the rails as the show goes on, and then it's actually more entertaining.
It's true. That's what I enjoy about watching.
Yeah.
The longer you go, the more rambly you get.
It's a long tail show, yeah.
I mean, we're just waiting for Paul to pick up the guitar and start playing, at some point.
Well, that happens at the end. That's a new thing. I mean, I don't think I've been on since the last time that I serenaded you, so it's good to be back.
Exactly,
I feel like we've been getting more newer participants in the chats. Like the Melvor, the Melvor seems new to me. We had some new ones a week ago, so Antoine checking in. So thank you.
Yep. So there you
Antoine's
go. Well, because we have a gaggle of news today to discuss.
Well, yeah, we're here to talk about Wakanda Forever.
And the guy who came back from the dead to post a tweet about a movie.
Optimus?
No, Chadwick Boseman's Twitter feed posted Wakanda Forever. I'm assuming his estate posted that, but it's sort of little cringy.
Yeah. There's more investigating before anything.
Hey, would you feel so bad if you found out the estate got paid, a few grand to do that?
If they're happy, they're the family.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to know about San Diego Comic-Con, though, right? Is that when Paul a couple years ago went to San Diego, or was it New York Comic-Con?
I've been to them all, baby. I've been to them all. So
whatever it was, like you made it a point to hop on the podcast. Somehow Nick, who went to San Diego Comic-Con for with his comic shop, whatever, somehow can't do it because he's like, oh, I'm on a plane. I'm like, you know what?
Oh.
Planes have Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, not for live streaming.
Yeah, probably not. No, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, you're sitting there, you're like, this dude next to me is live streaming.
Phil, how are you going to defend Nick before I do?
It's a longer flight from San Diego to Jersey than it is from San Diego to Chicago. So Nick's just in the air for longer.
Listen, Nick had to work a booth this weekend. Yeah. Okay? And not his own. He kind of finagled his way in as like you do. And he had a job to do. I went there for fun. So Sunday morning, instead of doing anything, I decided to talk to you assholes, on the air, which was a ton of fun. It always is. But I was in my hotel, like in a lobby of the hotel, just straight chilling on Sunday morning before I had to hightail it to the airport. Nick had to be places, at certain times. So that is San Diego Comic-Con is a slog. It is not really fun. I don't know why people think it is. I think it's the mystique. They see all the cool things that happen on the internet, but it's a lot of work. So I don't blame Nick. And there's no way he could do it from a plane.
I mean, I can't even imagine San Diego Comic-Con because I kind of feel like that the Kansas City Planet Comic-Con has gotten too big for me. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm done with it. It's a slog. I can't. Now, again, I didn't go this year, so I don't know, what the attendance was like. But, in years past, it's just, shoulder to shoulder people, and it's just hard to get around. And I just can't even imagine the lines that you have to be in San Diego. And then I guess if he's working there, I mean, that seems even crazier to me.
And because working at San Diego, number one, it's a 4-day convention versus most conventions being 2 or 3. The booths that the companies usually put up are much more extravagant, so there's a lot more just going on, and you just got a lot more things happening. So it's just and then like any convention, you're seeing people in like San Diego. This is the first time San Diego has happened in this proper format since COVID. So I'm sure there was a lot of late night hangouts and meetings and hey, let's get together kind of thing. So it eats at you, and I'm sure by Saturday and Sunday he was living on energy drinks and whatnot.
Absolutely. But yeah, we had a ton of Transformers news from the show. They didn't even talk really about the Rise of the Best, right? Like, I don't think that was even discussed.
Is this our first SDC without an exclusive?
Yeah, but Hasbro is being weird this year about exclusives. So yes, you're correct. It is the first SDCC without an exclusive, but they only really had like a handful of exclusives, a couple for really. I don't even think they did the vintage set. It was just the Dr. Mindbender and the Black Boba Fett were the only 2 that were quote unquote exclusive.
Excuse me, are you gonna forget all about our girl Flame War? I mean, she
not
released
exclusive
that Thursday. Exclusive to Hasbro Pulse.
Nothing to do with the convention, though.
Oh.
They did a live unboxing.
Did I order Flame War? Like, did that go out for order? I can't remember.
Yes, you did. You did, Lucas, because I know
Thursday.
Okay.
We all know what you order all the time, so yes.
Hopefully you did, because she's amazing looking.
I honestly don't remember because people send me links and I click on them and buy. So now I have
Flame War.
Hurry up and buy.
Flame War was interesting for me because I thought she had gone up for sale because they did that. I don't know if it was a leak or a reveal of her a couple of weeks ago. And I thought that's when she had gone up for sale. I'm like, why do I need to buy it now? I already, put it for pre-order. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't. And I'm in the camp that says this, for that price is not worth it. But that's just me.
There really wasn't a Transformers exclusive. And I think Hasbro just was like, hey, let's chill out. It's more advantageous for them to sell big stuff at PulseCon, which they're in control of 100%. And that's what they did. They used San Diego to promote a future exclusive, which is the Alpha Trion Orion pack set.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to see many convention exclusives again from Hasbro. I think they're going to go switch to Pulse from now on. It's more. It reaches a wider audience. They're going to make a lot more money.
So Christian and I were having this debate last week with Lucas, which is, I agree with you to a big extent there, Catherine. But then, you get the eyes on things that you wouldn't normally get at San Diego. So San Diego, you've got those hundreds of thousands of people that are walking through that are seeing your booth that wouldn't necessarily be checking out the Hasbro Pulse website or YouTube feed. So it's an interesting proposition. My theory on why there were so few exclusives is because it was a big question mark of whether San Diego would happen in its format this year. So they just decided to wait and do PulseCon, which they know they could do live streaming, versus gamble on whether or not San Diego would actually, be a thing.
I'm a little disappointed that you guys didn't say anything about Flame War, because I just checked my orders and I didn't see it in there. So I blame Christian, because he's the one that's supposed to be my personal assistant here and send me all these links.
Is she still available?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be available for a while. Don't worry about that.
I feel like a lot of those exclusives, the ones that are the Pulse exclusives, don't really sell out. Because, like, they make them available through so many channels. Like, is it just Pulse, or is it also Entertainment Earth and BBTS and all that?
Wait, what?
So the exclusives, like, where a lot of times they offer those through all the comic shops, like you can order it through your Entertainment Earth account, right?
That would be like
that case?
The Generation Selects are like
Correct.
that.
Right. So, like, is this one a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, or was it
all of the shattered all of the shattered glass stuff is essentially, without them saying it, supposed to be a Pulse exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean they are 100%? No. Like, some of the shattered glass stuff shows up at GameStops. Some of it's available at wholesale. Some very specific pieces. But then other ones are not and never probably will be.
Ron says in the chat that all of the shattered glass from last year is available except for Jetfire. So there you go. So that tells you how,
What is it? What do you mean? Like, available where?
Including Prime and Ratchet?
Hey. It's like, but that was the Generation Selects.
Yeah.
So the difference
see, that
last
wasn't
year,
the one with the comics and whatever.
Exactly. The Pulse ones had the comics, and that's what I was about to ask. Does the second wave of Shattered Glass toys come with exclusive comics again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't you check TFW 5 times a day and then see that comic like IDW Shattered Glass? Blah blah blah. Like,
I don't remember.
It goes like down the page. So if you don't check it every 20 minutes, you miss it.
See, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times, my Twitter feed, like Casey Collier will like tweet out about, because he's done a lot of those Shattered Glass covers, and I forget that too. So
I'm not a giant fan of the Toy Farce website and social media page. I feel like they are 70% of the time misses, but they again, 30% of the time that means they're a hit. And they had a good little meme this morning, which is like, got to call in sick to recover from all the San Diego Comic-Con reveals this weekend. And I do feel like my brain is a little bit overloaded with everything that was shown and revealed.
So if that means that percentage, that means you digest 100% of the Toy Farce media, meaning you are a big fan.
I'm not. There's a dude on in one of our mutual Facebook groups that reposts everything they put up. Mm-hmm. So speaking of exclusives, I did not San Diego related, but I did get the Amazon Wrecker 2-pack exclusive this past week. So my son has, as you can see, gotten to Spindle here and turned it into this. So yeah,
pretty hot.
It's I would say it's a fun toy. It's also very nightmare inducing. So yeah, let that just be in your dreams for the next week or two.
So the funny thing about that toy is talking to people. Everyone wants it for the fossilizer. I mean, when I say everyone, the people in my group or whatever want it for the fossilizer and not for Impactor.
I found it interesting, a couple things with the remolds. Obviously, the Spinosaurus head, the new robot head, the Spinosaurus spine, and then this piece is new. The little face chest plate is a new mold. So I don't know, just kind of random. I don't know why they decided to do it, but my son said it reminds him of the Batman villain, a Talon. I agree.
Kind of reminds me of the Max.
Yeah, that's the robot head inside here. It's kind of hard to pry out with the way he got this all assembled, and I don't want to disassemble it. But yeah, you're not wrong in that.
Don't disassemble.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Some big old buck teeth.
Wow.
Just go to an orthodontist. Yeah, I can't tell if that's supposed to be a chin or if it is supposed to be teeth. It's bizarre, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of funny. So, like, all that stuff is coming out months early.
Yeah.
And I like to attribute that to, we're seeing, like, the aftershocks of COVID now, where, like, when things were really delayed, they were late because and nothing met their production or shipping expectations. So there was a point at which they're like, push everything out 4 months, just like keep expectations low. And now everything's coming out like super early. Like Wave 2 came out, and I don't know if you've checked your targets lately, but all sorts of stuff is showing up there right now. No, beyond that.
Oh, Pterosaur, yeah. Red Cog.
Let me show you something.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, I know Motormaster's showing up. Like, there you go. NPM. When was that supposed to come out? The what is that?
I'm not really aware if that was on time or early, but it's there. So go look for
Blackout, Masterpiece Blackout?
Yeah, NPM Blackout. And Cybertron Metroplex was at some stores in Chicago.
Yeah, he started showing up in California over the weekend, too.
Red Cog as well. And then all that buzzworthy stuff that Phil was mentioning.
And then Pterosaur, I think, right?
Yeah, that's a buzzworthy.
Red Cog?
Red Cog, Dinobot, chicken skin Dinobot, toy Pterosaur, and then the Creatures Collide set. I mean, all that buzzworthy stuff was like last week, and now like another huge wave of stuff is showing up again.
Yeah, Ron made the good point that our wallets are just getting destroyed by these kind of like nickel and dimes of new stuff coming out. Because we've gotten the new wave of Legacy that's just hitting as well, so it's feeling like my doorbell's ringing every 3 minutes with another delivery, landing on my front porch.
But they are throwing home runs at us with some of this stuff that we just can't say no to. Like this new 2-pack, Orion packs, and finally an Alpha Trion that isn't total garbage.
Yeah, you can say no. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I'm not a giant fan of it. I don't like the shoehorning Alpha Trion from Scourge. I'm become a snob with this stuff. Hasbro has given us, like, again, GX is being a great example. Hasbro has given us like these great toys, and we're not getting these remolds or repaints anymore. We're getting brand new molds of these, Z-list characters. You can't say Jaxus is anything, bigger than that. And so to get Alpha Trion just
at least W, man.
All right. He's a W level character. But to get a Alpha Trion that is just a repaint of Scourge, another Orion packs that's a repaint remold of Cup. I just kind of feel a little bit been there, done that, and I want something specific to that character, specific to that, specific mold for that character.
Since we're not likely to get that anytime soon, this one looks nice. Plus, it comes with Vector Sigma. We haven't gotten that. That's a fun little prop.
Well, so the Alpha Trion and Orion packs both. I'm trying to think, what were the alt modes? Were they ever shown in the cartoon for Alpha Trion? I don't think they were they?
No.
I could justify Alpha Trion as a Scourge mold because it would be plausible for Unicron to cast a bot in an ancient mold.
I would just say because they both have capes
and facial
hair. I don't really have a dog in this fight, but I think you're right, Phil. I mean, definitely we're coming from the snob point of view and the like definitely entitled point of view, because like Hasbro's been so good to us. Like, it's like they give you an inch, you take a fucking mile. It's like, no, I know you can do better than this. You've done better than this. But instead of like being mad about it, she'd be like, oh, this is, like, instead, like, let's champion them to do better next time instead of like be pissed, I guess. Because it's pretty good. But what are you going to turn Scourge into? They got to do something. I mean, it's a great idea. What are you going to turn Cup into? I mean, I can't tell you how many times they've turned Cup into Orion packs. It's getting kind of old, but I guess it does have, like, ever since that G1 e-hobby toy, it's kind of cute, I guess.
Right.
But
I mean, what are they going to turn those toys into otherwise, first thing. And secondly, like, if you're really that upset, like, you just don't have to get it. Like, I think it looks cool. Yeah. Like, that's the one thing that's, like, a little bit frustrating for me on all these types of things is it's just that much nicer, just that little bit. And so then it's like, oh, I want to get it. And so that's the problem that I have, because I already have, as everyone else, we probably have half a dozen Orion packs at this point, and Alpha Trion, I guess. I'm more excited for the Alpha Trion because we haven't really gotten a great representation other than that,
the Bakon one, which is still pretty baller, that toy. Like that was a great toy in 2007. And I would say it's debatably on par with this new one. It's still just so cool to have, like, Vector. This is the newer, more modern articulation and stuff, but there's something just kind of really satisfying about Vector Prime's mold as Alpha Trion. But
I found it amusing that Orion pack still comes with Cup's Energon snack accessory. So I was just like, all right, I guess that's probably in the casting, so they probably have to use it. But
good, I'll get something useful out of that toy.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we'll have 2 Energon snack accessories, or 3 if you bought 2 cups with the different paint schemes.
I want to encourage them making little accessories like that, and like Vector Sigma and the key to it, and little stuff that's not a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is kind of fun to get that stuff. I think Hot Rod came out with some cool things, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems sort of silly. So yeah, it was. Do we want to, like, jump back a little bit to actually the stuff that went on sale, like not necessarily directly tied in with San Diego, but the Walmart stuff that went on sale? We got all the Velocitron stuff finally went up for purchase, and as Paul, you predicted, what happened?
Cosmos went to outer space like a UFO. That's what he is.
Yep, the short pack sold out.
Yep.
So
and the Black Optimus too. Whoa.
The one thing I'll say with that though is, and again, I suppose that I'm somewhat lucky in the area that I live in. I've never had an issue seeing those at Walmarts. Now, you may have to be a little bit diligent when it actually, starts hitting, that you are on the ball and driving around to make sure that you secure your copy. But I've never had an issue with getting a Walmart exclusive. But other areas of the country could be different.
Well, this just remains to be seen. I have a feeling there's going to be a real drought of some of this stuff. It's all great. The things that I predict will be sitting around is probably Road Rocket and Burnout, I guess. I think the Voyagers, they haven't sold out yet, but they're going to.
No, Road Hauler is going to sit there forever, too.
I disagree. I could be wrong, but, like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be gone as well. But the car, Nitro Dude, is definitely gonna be snatched up by most people. I don't remember what the case breakdown is, but it's unfortunately an odd number. So there's gonna be twice of one Voyager than the other. If they're smart, they put in 2 of I cannot think of the name. Nitro Convoy. Override, yes. If they're smart, they put in 2 overrides and 1 road hauler. And in that case, not going to be a problem to sell out a road hauler. But I don't know.
Yeah, it would be foolish to do 2 road haulers and 1 override. Everyone
I don't know.
Dumber things have happened.
If my kid saw a bright green crane construction vehicle in that bright blue box, it's going to really stand out on the shelf, and my kid's going to want that. So again, we're thinking from a collector's mindset. Hasbro and Walmart are looking at this from everybody who's buying it. So I don't know. It's going to be a bright, shiny toy on that shelf for dang sure.
And I think that's exactly why they short pack Cosmos. They're like, this is weird. Yeah. Can you not make a bunch of that one? Like, what is that?
I think it's going to sit there the way Inferno did forever.
Oh, I meant Cosmos. I think that's why it was like when they made the decisions on what they wanted. They're thinking of shelf presence, and they're like, that's a weird shape that no one is going to understand, and this is supposed to be a race. So let's hold off on that green UFO thing that you swear is a UFO, and let's not sell many of those. And they were wrong.
Now a bunch of people are pointing out that, hey, Grapple was sitting on the shelf for a while. Here's the difference. These are packaged in vehicle mode. So if you have like a 4-year-old kid walking by, they're going to see bright green crane construction vehicle, which is more appealing to that age group than the robot might be. So
packaging is awesome on these.
Yeah. I love Grapple.
I also argue that as you walk by, the parent would be like, oh, sure. And then you're like, wait a minute. How much is that again? It's like $35 or whatever. I don't know how much the Voyagers at Walmart are now. But like, wait, hold on. Like, let's go down to the Hot Wheels aisle and get you a Hot Wheel instead, I mean, that's what I would do as a parent. Because I don't like to spend, below $40 a pop on my kids' when we just make a random trip to Walmart. I don't know.
Well, we did also get this brand new blue lift ticket.
That's right. Its name is Breaker.
Sure. Breaker. It doesn't matter what his name is. No one.
Blue guy.
It's like DX something.
He's very boring looking.
Yeah.
DK3.
DK. That's
Ron's wondering if any of the Wave 2 Velocitron stuff would repack the Wave 1 stuff, like, because with Netflix. And I could see that where the short pack stuff, maybe they short pack it again in the next wave, and then that way it kind of...
That's something I've been thinking about. I've been wondering, because, like, we don't know... For the Netflix toys, they did not repack anything. Okay? They did... Wave 1 was 5 different dudes. Wave 2 was 5 different dudes. Wave 3 was 4 different dudes. So I am making the assumption that they're going to stick with that pattern, but we've only seen a few listings for the second wave, and Crasher's already been leaked. So like, what the heck is happening? I don't know. Maybe they are going to do like only a few different new toys and then repack some of the others. And if that happens, I think a lot of people will be happy, obviously.
I totally forgot about Crash already. That was like, 5 days ago? And it was like, that fell out of my brain.
That blew my mind. I thought that was like going to be a year away.
I'm a little surprised by it. It's nice to see, though.
Is this like an argument for why people should be working back in the office? It's like, look how quickly we're getting these designs out now that people are working back in the office. That kid.
Don't send me back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like all of the deluxes and even the Voyagers, like for the exclusives, sell pretty well. I don't know. Like, I feel like my stores just have a hard time keeping a lot of that Transformer stuff on the shelf. Whereas, like, I went the other day at Walmart, it seemed like G.I. Joe was, and He-Man especially, like, was not suffering that same fate. Like, I feel like there were just pallets of those toys just sitting on the shelf.
What G.I. Joe was sitting around?
I don't know. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe.
My guess is Lady J, Flint,
there was
Gung Ho, and
the movie,
Snake Eyes
the movie toys.
It was whatever the newest classified is. I don't know. They had it was stacked to the ceiling.
Oh.
Right. Well, you should have picked those up, silly goose.
I don't know.
If it's like Alley Viper and Cobra Bat, those are.
It probably isn't. I'm sure it's probably.
That's treasure.
Yeah.
They also put one other bot up for sale that's so important we should discuss. The Top Gun Maverick re-release. I mean, we're all big fans of that, right?
Packaging variant.
New volleyball or something, right? Comes with a motorcycle or something. It's a little different. I'll admit I bought one.
Have you opened it? How's the mold?
No, it's a pre-order.
Oh, isn't that didn't come out already?
I mean, I sold the ones I had before, but I've said it before, but like when that movie was announced, I was laughing. I was like, great, they're gonna redo Top Gun. Oh my god! And then when they announced they're making a toy, I was like, oh, they are so dumb doing this. This is a huge mistake for crossovers. Everyone fucked this up. And then COVID happened, and the movie didn't come out, and I was still laughing, and the movie didn't come out. And then you know what? People started buying that toy. And now the movie's a huge success. It's like the greatest movie of all time. And it makes sense to make that toy. I thought that movie was going to be a bomb and a half.
Has anybody had that toy in hand?
Maybe Anna?
Christian? I think has, but he didn't really like it. But
I've only heard bad things about it.
There's no volleyball in the new release, right? I thought that, or is it? Have we gotten any confirmation on that?
Something's different. I think maybe the volleyball is not in the package.
I think that's what it is on this new one.
There's no volleyball anywhere on that packaging.
Ron says that he has it. So, were there red figures? Like, I didn't know. Ron in the chat was saying something about red figures. I didn't know if it was
Galvatron and Shockwave. Were supposed to come out. They were supposed to be part of this thing, and they've still never been available. As far as I know, never been available on Walmart. Only on Pulse.
So did the volleyball come out in the original release of the toy and just not in the re-release? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
There a Wilson joke in there? I'm sure there is somewhere. Yeah, gosh, just so much dang stuff. And I feel like for the different lines that I collect, especially of the Hasbro stuff, I think Transformers got some of the most love in terms of reveals and releases and all that sort of thing. Marvel Legends got a good chunk of stuff, especially because they got the new Black Panther movie that they showed the trailer for. G.I. Joe, I think, only just showed off Serpentor.
Which was a pretty good show off. I mean, that Serpentor was amazing.
Oh, it is. It is. And they just had the very successful His Tank Has Lab. But Star Wars Black Series didn't have a ton. So, yeah, it was kind of Marvel Legends and Transformers that got the most time from Hasbro, it seemed like, this weekend. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. I mean, Hasbro did have the new. Do we want to still talk about toys for a few more minutes, or do you want to jump into Earthspark?
There's still so much to talk about.
I am curious. I was gonna say we haven't even gotten to the reveals of toys and everything, but like, my question is
for Earthspark.
If you collect Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, and Transformers mainline, like, do you just have to have a second house to like? Or just multiple storage units just to collect all that stuff. I mean, it's just like the amount of product. Are you living a
secret Peter lifestyle that you're not telling?
You also need a therapist. I mean,
yeah, what you just have as a problem.
Kind of
what
needed.
What you have to have as a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not forget about NECA Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe Classified. Yeah, I don't let people in my basement for a reason because it just looks like a hoarder's den. But there's paths you can walk around. The jars of urine have only stacked up knee high so far.
As long as you're keeping it in control.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
There was the Unicron Funko too. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, the Unicron Funko. Yes, I did forget about that. that was
didn't Rick like send it in the chat or something? Like, guys, it's up for order. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Everyone's like, who cares? I bought some though.
But again, like, right, exactly. That's the thing is like you and Nick and Rick or whatever, and I feel a little sad that I need to ask Peter if he actually got it or not, because I think that he's done with that.
Good for him.
I just think it's cool because it's another big Unicron. And it's if you can't afford the HasLab one, it's a good stand-in because it's actually that toy.
It'd be kind of fun to just.
No, it's modeled after the HasLab Unicron, like the design, the Funko. They took the toy and Funkoed it and made a little, large Funko out of it.
Yeah, we could deviate over to Earthspark though, like Phil was suggesting. It brings right back.
Josh was asking before we get to that. Was asking about the live stream and what the heck happened to that. I think they got confused on the times, or something, right? Like I don't know. They were running it and then they're like, oh wait, it's supposed to be at 1:00, and then I don't know why it never went up.
What is he even talking about? The live stream of the panel?
Yeah, they were supposed to have a panel for like all the reveals, and they had it running for a while, like at the original announced time, and then it just never like they never went live, and then they're like, oh crap, like sorry, we got the time zones wrong, and it's supposed to be at 1:00 or whatever instead of whatever time that they had it. I think they had like an hour or two early. And then they never ended up actually going live. So I don't know if they just had some kind of thing where they couldn't get everything coordinated, like after, like, with the new times or what. But so, yeah.
Bummer.
Anyway, all right. So Earthspark. I guess how do we want to, talk about this? Like, are we talking show first, toys first?
Go right with that opening trailer. That little 5-minute teaser. That was amazing.
I enjoyed it. I like the voice cast. I like what we saw. It seems new. It seems like it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
It did have a very Transformers Prime kind of feel to it, with the way the humans were interacting. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
What made you say it was amazing, Catherine?
The trailer, it grabbed me right away. It drew me in, and the characters seemed interesting. Plus, the little toy of Twitch looks adorable.
I feel like that there's some new ideas there compared to the last couple shows that we've gotten, like the Netflix shows. I mean, we've been over this a million times. But, like, they weren't really treading a lot of new ground. And I feel like even Cyberverse was not necessarily. So, I think they actually have a couple new ideas here. Because aren't the Transformers from Earth, right? Like, they're not actually from Cybertron?
These two are born here on Earth.
What are they called? Are they called Terrans? Does anyone read that in the press release or anything? That's something I caught.
Pick up on that. I did notice that the Transformers have last names. They have the last names of the family that they're, hanging out with.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you look at the casting press release that they put out, yeah, we have Transformers with last names besides just Prime.
That must have something to do with like the bonding thing.
Yeah.
Which that's a new concept. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Master.
New for American.
Yeah, it's some sort of master, Earth Master or something.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, because like, is the family going to be involved with this as well? Like, they're kind of showing that a little bit. Like, I just wonder if they're taking some from the what's the old show, the little kiddie show.
Rescue Bots.
Rescue Bots, yes. Like, I wonder if they're taking some ideas. I see there being
some elements of that. Yeah, I didn't think about that till just now, but that does make sense.
But I don't know. I'm just really excited with that because it looks like professional animation. They're actually using union voice actors. You know, for like a lot of the names, and I know people were criticizing that Optimus Prime was not voiced by Peter Cullen, but I mean, come on, like we actually got that Alan Tudyk, I think is a pretty famous voice actor and actor in his own right.
That dude's like an A-lister. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, he was in Dark of the Moon. He's already like got a history pedigree with Transformers.
What was he in Dark of the Moon?
He was Simmons' like butler.
Right.
He had like a ridiculous accent, and he was kind of. I have to admit, I think he made me laugh.
I think my favorite.
He's a sci-fi darling. You know, he was in.
Oh yeah.
He was in that show with the
Firefly and Serenity, and he was in the V reboot. He had his own web series called Con Man, which was quite a lot of fun. He actually that would tie into Anna because there was a plot in the show Con Man where he was dating a woman who was into lifelike baby dolls. So yeah. I mean, he's had a ton of voice work, whether it's like that dude just keeps getting paychecks from Disney. It's because he's similar to Frank Welker in that he does a lot of animal voices or like noises. So like the little chicken in Moana, that's him.
Oh.
You know, there was I think a donkey or a capybara from Encanto is him.
He's K2SO. I mean, like, that's like one of the best droids yet.
Exactly. He did the choreography. Like, so there's a great story from this show Peacemaker. It has an amazing intro sequence with this weird dance, and his wife was the choreographer of that dance. And due to COVID things, she was sending James Gunn videos of Alan doing the moves to demonstrate what the moves would be. Because, you know, she's like, I can use Alan at home to send out these videos to the actors of what they're supposed to be doing for that. So, yeah, he's even worked on Peacemaker. The pirate guy in Dodgeball. Resident Alien, which I've heard good things about but not seen. His IMDb list is gigantic. So, like, he's a dude that's going to be there, like, you know, next to Frank Welker in terms of just, like, scrolling.
So you heard it here first, Transformer Land. Don't worry about Alan Tudyk being Optimus Prime. It's going to be good.
I just worry how to say his name.
What's also interesting is the new Megatron, who everyone just keeps calling. This is what I kept seeing everyone. Oh, the Hound is Megatron. Like, without any context, it's like, what in the fuck does that mean? But it's the guy from Game of Thrones. It's the Hound who has that awesome raspy voice. You know, he's like, I mean, he swears constantly just like me, but like in a much better way. He's like, you know, fuck your chicken. You know, like whatever he says in Game of Thrones is just so awesome. But he's the guy that like Sandor Clegane, who watches over Arya for half the show with the messed up face. He's just a complete badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to his Megatron. I hope he's in a lot of episodes.
I'm really curious what direction they're going to take with him, too, because this is post-war, and the one photo they showed of the Megatron toy was of him standing in front of a barn, like with an put-out-to-pasture kind of look going on.
Yeah, he had a weird alt mode, too. It was like some helicopter, dual-bladed helicopter, almost like one of the kid toys made it almost look like a Zeppelin. Just very, you know, fat.
They had a couple different toys, right? So one of them was more of a huge thing, the more simplified toy. So, but I don't know. I'm excited with that you actually get a different alt mode for Megatron, because now it seems like his default is just to be a tank. And so to actually get, you know, something else is pretty cool.
Yeah, this seems to be more like what they had for Transformers Animated with the dual-bladed helicopter, but a different take on it still. You know, so I don't know. Alita 1 gets the short shaft of another crappy alt mode toy from what they showed of that. So I don't know. She either gets an RC remold or something weird looking. So
I think
I don't know.
she's kind of strong arm esque in this particular series. I don't think it looks that. I mean,
I was kind of wondering if they're gonna repaint that in a strong arm. That reminded me of that toy.
You could.
I think this would be a good place for us to see characters like Strong Arm again. You know, I think she's been a character that fans have been clamoring for more appearances of.
And just in case you don't know, almost all these toys and characters were designed by Nick Roach.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that.
And he specifically made this Megatron. Like, he's responsible for the whole thing. They're just like, make a new. I read it. I listened to an interview of him on the Cybertron podcast and with Scotty.
What? On the what?
Cybertron podcast.
Another podcast. You're listening to another Transformers podcast.
I did that day. Yes.
Oh, right.
Because I do have friends.
I see what we mean to you.
And well, we don't have Nick Roach on this show.
At least he wasn't on it. Yeah. Well, hey, you know, to be fair, I don't think we've asked Nick Roach to be on the show. So.
Well, I'm Nick Roach arts on the show.
I'm just, you know, regurgitating information you might not have heard, but like he said that they were like, hey, make a new Megatron. And he's like, really? They're like, yeah. And this is what he came up with. And clearly, yeah, he took some cues from animated, but I think this is very much its own thing. And something that I've seen pointed out is this cannon he has on his arm. I know we don't have visuals here, but there's like a cannon that is on Megatron's arm, like usual. Mm-hmm. Also like something he can hold. Very much represents the alt mode that Megatron had in the Combiner Wars TV show series. Which he turns into this big, like, monstrous, like, cannon that Optimus shoots in that show. It's one of the few notable things that was good from that show. It's kind of cool. So it looks a lot like that. If it's knowing that it's Roach, I think that's intentional.
Did we see animation designs for that Megatron yet, or the only thing we have to base on is the toy?
He's in the trailer.
Okay, I gotta go back and watch it then.
Like he's standing across a bridge, like kind of like rawr, like looking menacing. Okay. Like you said, Catherine, he's just kind of standing there looking menacing. But you know the war's over, so like, what are they just sitting there like throwing harsh language at each other, or like what? Like what's Megatron doing there? Like I don't know. There's going to be some conflict, obviously, at some point. But how intense it will be remains to be seen.
I wonder if maybe we'll get more sassy Megatron. He was very popular.
Well, remember, it's the Hound, so hopefully they bleep out some of his language.
Well, it is Nickelodeon.
So they'll definitely bleep it out.
I'm mildly confused by this. Is this show going to air on Nickelodeon and then also Paramount Plus, or just be on Paramount Plus?
I believe it's both.
Okay.
Do we know when it's going to start, by the way? Did they give a date?
So I'm just gonna apologize real quickly. Like I was out of town on a vacation this past weekend. So it was like in between like my two kids screaming at each other or taking them to the pool or other crazy stuff that I was getting all the San Diego news. And so it was the combination of the lack of ability to access this in a timely fashion and just the overload of information that there are details that are escaping me. So I'm saying I don't know quite a bit tonight, and I don't enjoy that.
Well, have you seen the toys for the Earthspark line? Because most of them are, you know, your kind of typical lower end children, you know, aimed at young children toys, except for Twitch. She looks fantastic.
But so that was something that someone pointed out, that there are two classes that we see. We see deluxe classes and warrior class. So it seems like there's a bit of a differentiation between like Elita 1 and Optimus, I think, are warrior class. And they look a little bit less detailed and as nice as Twitch and Megatron and Bumblebee.
Yeah, this is not confusing. It's the exact same thing as Cyberverse. There's warrior class and there's deluxe.
Yeah.
And the deluxes come with Build-A-Figure parts to make Mandroid.
Oh, they're doing the Build-A-Figure again, huh?
This deluxe is going to need to go into my collection.
Yeah, Twitch looks fun.
Yeah, I was a little bummed out. I was definitely bummed out when I saw them promoting Skywarp, the Warrior class toy, which is straight up a Cyberverse toy. It's like, oh, okay, so this is the same again. Like, I just wish they could like full stop and then go to new toy lines sometimes, but. And it doesn't. They might as well. They should have named him something else. They should have called him like Greywind, because he's definitely does not look like Skywarp.
But you slap the name Skywarp on it, and G1 fans are going to want it.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
Oh, that's extra annoying. It looks like the little girl character. It comes as like an oversized slug, but she comes with Bumblebee and not her bot.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's 5. Apparently, this toy line has 5 classes now. And what are the flip changers?
I'm going to need those kids.
The flip changers are small. The warrior class is what we're used to. And then there's the smallest thing is called a Tacticon, which is a new term. It's kind of like the activator or an automorph little thing. Then there's the deluxe, which is like getting close to collector, and then there's the big gimmick toys, which are called spin changers.
That's very fancy.
And that's the one I believe comes with Mo Malto.
Have we seen like the one-step changers, flip changers, whatever you call them? Did they have those in Cyberverse as well? Like, because I know they had the ones where they kind of transformed halfway, but I couldn't remember if they actually had the ones where they're one-step.
Oh yeah, they're at Target right now, repackaged in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line.
Okay.
Like,
I know. Back in the day, like the one-step changers were such garbage. I had bought a bunch for my kids, and they just all fell apart. So, like, would you say is that better quality? Like if you give that to a 3-year-old or 4-year-old or whatever, is it gonna hold up, or is it just gonna like break?
I mean, it's probably going to break because this is like, actually, this one's weird. You like twist it, but all these springs and stuff need to completely match up. And see, as you can see,
that's the only thing that I don't like about that is like, I think it's a neat idea, but then if you actually give that to a kid, they break the springs, and then it's like, then they're like, Daddy, I broke it, and there's nothing you can do.
What you do is you go and buy another one, and you know, hey, guess what? Hasbro gets another sale.
Yeah, it annoyed me.
Well, it's because they kind of transform, and if you like have them kind of transformed when you do the gimmick, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I really like that you had one of those in reach.
Yep. The best one ever. Oh, go ahead.
My son's got the bludgeon one of those, and it's pretty good. His arms just move up, and he comes with a little sword. But it was a fun bludgeon design for that Cyberverse show, and I dig having the little toy. Although I do despise H-Tanks, so that's the one thing I knock against it. I'd say.
I thought the best one of that gimmick ever was the Grimlock that you could like swing around, twist him split his tail in half, and like spin him, and he would turn into the dinosaur or the robot. That was right. I think Aaron Archer was in charge of that one right before he left, but that one was hard to break. The rest of them are pretty easy to break, I think. Anyways, yeah, that's all the Earthspark stuff.
Yeah, then we had all those the next wave of reveals,
which is what, wave 3 of Legacy?
Is
that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there's Crank
Target Masters,
easy repaint.
What did you think about the Armada Starscream? Did you what did you think about that, Paul?
Not much, honestly. I mean, it looks fine.
Like, do you like it better than the Thrilling 31?
I mean, it's a Voyager, so it's gonna be.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the Voyagers. I mean, the Voyagers of Inferno and Starscream, I guess those leaked like last month. Because I was surprised when they showed those off. I was like, this isn't new. It's like, oh, I guess it's new to you guys. You know,
Right.
you want it to be new. I think it's fine, and I don't know. I don't really care. Like Armada Starscream is not G1 Starscream, but he's a Starscream. So
Right. He is a Starscream, so there you go.
He looks decent.
It reminds me of the Earthrise Seeker molds compared to the classic Seeker mold, where you can tell they didn't make the exact same toy upsized, but boy howdy is it close.
Yeah, I guess I haven't looked at it that close, but at least it's more reminiscent of the original toy versus the Thrilling 30. The Thrilling 30 had like a much more red color scheme. It had those little flip out swords and stuff. This one comes with the Star Saber, really bad Star Saber it comes with, I think. I wish it came with a Minicon, I guess. You know, at Voyager price point, you'd kind of expect that, but you know.
Yeah.
Looks like Armada Starscream to me.
And we've got Skullgrin in, you know, kind of, I don't know. What do you think about that one?
I'm getting him. I'm not sure what he turns into, but I'm getting him.
Turns into the chud that he used to turn into, which is like nothing. You know, like I've seen a lot of hate on that alt mode. Like, what is that supposed to be? I'm like, what was it ever supposed to be, bro?
Right.
Like it was a log. He turned into a log with like guns you could attach to it.
Well, I know
It's all about that face. That's all Skullgrin is a face.
Mm-hmm.
Christian was
And he's got
upset
it.
because Iguanas, they released him as core class. So he's like, oh, cool. Like, they're going to release all these as core class figures. And, like, that figure was pretty fun and, you know, pretty well done. And then the Skullgrin is like, oh, it's deluxe class. And so now it's not going to fit in with the other one. Like, what are they doing? But I almost wonder, are they just going to do this over and over again where they're like, oh, I can do an easy deluxe of these figures and make it turn into nothing, and I can just keep redoing it over and over again. That's what I feel like is going to happen.
As long as we keep buying.
I just don't know what the expectation was for Skullgrin. You know, like the last one.
Right.
The last one we got was pretty dumpy too. You know, it turned into like it was supposed to be sort of a triple changer. Like it turned into a cannon and like a tank or something.
Well, it's because this is Jax's repaint.
Yeah, I mean, but this is way better than that one. So
yeah, I could see them take this Skullgrim toy and do what they did with Double Cross in terms of reusing this for quite a few of the other Decepticon Pretenders. Because if you take off that head, you know, that was the thing with the Pretenders. The Pretenders, all of them kind of looked like, what was this? In their alt mode. And then you'd like slap on some guns. It's like, oh, it's a jet because the guns make it wings, and
right.
Oh, it's sort of a submarine because of this. So if you just give, you know, a new Submarauder head on that body, and then again change up a little bit of retooling, you again similar with how you got Fangry and Repugnus and Grotesque from Double Cross. I hope that is what they do with Skullgrim here, because I like Christian would love to see more of those monster pretender, you know, transformer dudes, because that's a big sweet spot for me.
I think the robot mode looks great.
Were you not happy with this Skullgrin? I mean, we had this great one.
That's Liege Maximo. Please
Actually,
get the name right. Man, I mean, he even has his belt. You know?
Yeah.
The belt was like an accessory that everyone lost with that toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure that you can lose this one, right? Somehow.
Hey, man, I'll take this. Like, I'll take this as a pretender. You know? Like, pretenders were dumb, and everyone, like, wants to... Everyone's asking for the impossible. They're like, make modern pretenders. Well, here's one way to do them. This isn't good enough. Like, no one can tell you what they really want them to do, because it's impossible.
Right.
Literally impossible. And then you got stuff like Bonsai-tron in Super 7. You know, they're like, dude, it doesn't transform. Like, well, Wait, sorry, it's not Bonsai. What's the Pretender that's in that?
Bludgeon.
Oh, it's just Bludgeon again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bonsai Tron was the action master.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to transform.
No.
I mean,
He just needs to look pretty.
Pretenders are a tough nut to crack, and they haven't done what everyone wants them to do, what everyone thinks they want them to do. And when they finally do, you're gonna be like, "Oh, cool! That's neat. I don't even want it, because it'll be too expensive or something, or it'll just be like, I'm talking about like a fully articulated shell that goes across an actual transforming robot. Like that's gonna be $100 to make it work, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's a dragon no one should be chasing. This is a great compromise.
I agree.
I agree with you, Paul, and I would say that the two Pretenders that I think would be easiest to redo are Gun Runner and Road Grabber, where it was the car Pretenders. So you just make a car, and then there's a robot that comes out from it and that transforms. That's not the most difficult thing to do.
Now I've realized in hindsight that Skullgrin was the Energon, the deluxe Energon monster, which was in the early leak lists, sell lists. There was another Energon monster, and it's core class. And it got me thinking, like, this is before I'd seen anything. I was like, oh my God, they're going to make a little Skullgrin, a core Skullgrin, and it's going to go inside the deluxe Skullgrin. So it would be like the little tank robot, and then the deluxe would just be the Pretender. It appears that's not the case, which is a bummer, because that would be another cheat to make Pretenders sort of work.
What's funny is were people up in arms about Thunderwing not being a Pretender when he's come out in the past iterations?
Oh.
Yeah. He was a Pretender.
Well, he only came as a little Titan Master recently, right? That's all we've really gotten to him. Oh, there was a deluxe.
We got
the Thrilling 30.
Yeah.
Or not Thrilling, the Chug.
Yeah, I don't remember any hate and disdain over that.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure there probably was. I'm sure if you pull back the comments from like 5 years ago or whenever.
Yeah, there were like 12. There were like 12 dudes that were mad.
Because Thunderwing is one of those Transformers. Thunderwing's one of those Pretenders that you only think of his shell. Him and Bludgeon, you only really think of the shell. So you don't really think of, they were a Pretender and there was a robot inside. There's like barely any reference to that ever. So they get those passes. And Skullgrin, I think, is kind of the same way. Like, how often do you think what the Skullgrin in a robot looks like? Let alone what its alt mode looks like.
Well, Skullgrin has a pretty prominent feature on the back of the Pretender box art.
Yes, you're right.
I think maybe you're kind of getting cheated there, because he gets front billing in that on the back of every single package that was ever made.
Him and Landmine and Cloudburst.
But yeah, and then so Point Blank, we finally get a Point Blank coming in as well, and I know some people were a little let down with him. I agree that with Josh in the chat says that he's not a big fan of the hips, and that's kind of my complaint as well. But it's deluxe and whatever.
I'd like to see it in hand before I nitpick it. I mean, it looks good. It looks what I want a Point Blank to look like. It does make me bummed that Crosshairs was that remold that we got a few years ago of Ironhide. Because now it's like, well, shoot, do I want to go back and get that Crosshairs? Because I thought it was a bad toy. So I can have updated versions of the Autobot Target Masters, and probably won't do that. But if they, who's the third one? The yellow car, the Trigger Happy? No.
Yellow car man.
Okay, yellow car Pretender. If they make one of him, and then they never give us a Crosshairs, then Sure Shot, right? Yeah, Sure Shot. Then I will be, feeling like I need to go back and get the third one back in time. I'm gonna play with this guy right now because I just
if there's anything.
See, and this is how these toys go up in values, because that however many years later, you're like, oh crap, now I want to complete the set.
Yep.
Snoozing.
Oh, here we go. We just have to get a DNA kit for Point Blank, so there you go.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this guy remolds, but as he is, he's not great. Those hips are a pretty common complaint.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know that Anna was excited. She's like, yes, this, like, you know, it's a good thing I got the Make Toys one, like, 8 years ago, whatever that came out. And it's like,
dude, that Make Toys one is gone up in value a boatload.
It's really
How can you
good.
compare? How can you compare those?
That's
like
that thing was like so big and expensive.
That's redonkey lips. I mean, that's
not
just
even
so
close.
I mean, yeah. So but talk about again back to elitism and like being served everything on a golden platter. Like this is Point Blank. Like we've been wanting this forever. And it's like, oh, the hips have a stick in them. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, we're gonna complain.
It's hollow. It's got hollow legs.
Right.
You do want it to transform, right? I mean, you do.
You know, some figures have to be good enough. Like Crankcase isn't good enough. I'm not touching anybody in that mold.
Did they show off the alt mode of Crankcase?
They haven't shown the alt modes of anything other than
okay. Yeah, that's what I thought, but it's like there's some remolded parts, so I'm curious what the
it's highly remolded.
Yeah,
it's like Skids, you know, his chest is like sticking out as his
right.
pectorals, but that is not the case with this guy. It looks like his upper body's completely
his
different.
headlights there, you know.
Yeah, the headlights. Also, his name is Blanker now. He's no longer Point Blank, which I think is the Japanese name. So it's like, yay.
It still works.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come.
Violence. Maybe we shouldn't name toys after gun crimes.
Yeah, his name's Bullet. He's supposed to come with a Micromaster. That's like the word on the street. Like he's gonna come with a guy. Yeah. Huh. Hard to say. I'd be shocked if he really does, because that's, you know, considering stuff like our good friend Flame War, who comes with the Battlemaster and is $42. You know, it'd be shocked to see this come with a.
No, thank you.
Yeah, they don't usually put the little extra dudes in with the main line.
No.
Well, especially with the deluxe price point too.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's if you read the Q&As and stuff, like there's mention of him coming with something. So
our last deluxe is the Stunticon.
Didn't.
Ooh.
Looks pretty. He looks real pretty. The head sculpt looks nice.
And he's all new, right? I mean, it's another completely new mold for the Combiner.
Should be.
That's great.
I feel like now with these combiners, it's almost an event. It's kind of like how the third parties have been doing it with their combiners, where like every piece of it like takes a while to come out. And whereas, you know, back in the day with Combiner Wars, it's like you almost got the whole time. I mean, I know that they kind of mixed up Wave 1 and Wave 2 with a couple of them, but for the most part, it's like you just got it. And now it's like going to take quite a while to actually complete the combiner.
They're doing the blast off release model, where the blast off the space shuttle blast off didn't come out till like what, a year after Bruticus came out. Combiner Wars Bruticus came out. It was the Slingshot repaint.
It was longer than that.
Yeah, maybe.
It was Mayhem.
Yeah, God, I remember that now.
Yeah, because he didn't come out until Power of the Primes.
Yeah.
Because he was an Amazon exclusive along with Punch Counter Punch.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Okay.
But yeah.
We got a nice giant ant coming.
Yeah. Josh says drag strips eBay price will be so high by the time these all come out. Yeah, it's 100% right.
You think? Fancy that.
Yeah, because people would have bought extras to try to make part of the combiner sooner.
No, I mean that's with all these guys too. I mean, shoot, the Combiner Wars combiners are pretty expensive now, and all the Titan class figures. I mean, just there's so many figures are just so expensive now. Just because you know, when you're completing your set, you're like, oh, I've got to have X character, and they haven't redone it yet.
Yeah, and well, and the demand, I think, has taken a turn, especially since COVID. Like maybe there were 15 to 20,000 Transformers collectors in the United States, something like that. But there might be more like 30,000 now. Like, you know, because people have just like gotten back into things that they like from their youth, and you know, they're looking for stuff that they didn't make enough for. So that's. And now I think they're upping the production numbers again, you know, steadily, not like crazy.
To me, I feel like the fact that they're making a cohesive line, and then they have been for a number of years now, is I think smart. That everything kind of fits in together a little bit, and they're not just like pressing the reset button on things.
Yeah.
So, like,
but,
I think
but they are with the Stunticons. I mean, they are. Pressing the reset button from Combiner Wars. I mean, I get it. If you put drag strip next to a Combiner Wars aerial bot, they don't necessarily scale that well together.
I thought that combined modes did somewhat. Like
the combined modes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the limbs are a little smaller.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's 6 of one, half dozen of another. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. But and for the most part, I think you're right, Lucas. So I'm splitting hairs.
We got 2 more reveals we didn't talk about. And Paul looks rather excited for them.
Well, I can only think of one we haven't talked about, but
Scavenger and
Scavenger. You mean Inferno?
Oh yeah, sorry, Inferno.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ant, which again got revealed sort of a week ago. I haven't been up on the shows. I don't know if you guys talked about that.
No,
already.
I don't think we did.
Not a ton, no.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So
it's
yeah,
one of those
Inferno.
things where I almost forget what all we talk about, because there's just such a steady flow of leaks and everything and actual reveals. So you kind of forget, like, oh, did I actually talk about this? Like, did they reveal it yet, or was it just leaked? Like, is it some weird, you know, blurry photo from, like, you know, some guy in Vietnam? I mean, you know.
Usually all the above.
Right.
But yeah, so Inferno, which we got in, what was it, Earth? No. In Kingdom. We got Inferno, Voyager, Inferno, and Kingdom, and we got Voyager, Inferno, in Legacy, and that was like confusing. Like, is this going to be a repack? What is this going to be? And it was the Inferno everyone really wanted in Kingdom, which is the Ant. The Beast Wars Ant. Which is
first look looks great.
Yeah. That toy looks top notch.
One thing I've seen, and I'm not a Beast Wars aficionado, but like this one seems to have the abdomen splits in 3, and I guess the old one split in 4.
Well, just burn it down then. Just burn it down.
Well, is that notable for some reason? Like, canonically? I don't know.
I'm not the person to ask. I'm not a huge Beast Wars dude.
So why would you mention it if it doesn't matter? I don't know. I don't know why it does. I was asking if someone does.
I don't think this is a Beast Wars cast.
Nope. So, yeah, there's the news. Its butt splits into 3 pieces instead of 4. So, the big news is, though, that we're getting the last leader in Legacy is finally revealed. It is Transmetal 2 Megatron, Dragon Megatron, which was kind of leaked a long time ago. But seeing is believing.
I know a lot of
And
people
he's
have been
big.
criticizing the face. I feel like, which is like it's fine. I don't know. I really like the colors. I think it, you know.
Yeah, it does very much look like that old toy.
It looks way better than that old toy. I bought that from someone maybe a few years ago, and I got it, and I was like, this sucks. Why did I spend whatever I spent on this? It's a big blobby Beast Wars mess. It's why I don't like Beast Wars. But this looks a little more like it has the right proportions to be a modern Transformer.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for the inevitable blue recolor.
I think it'd be nice to have both.
Will they try to sandwich that into Shattered Glass? Will that be Shattered Glass Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Megatron?
Probably.
That would be interesting.
Somehow, yes.
I could see that as a generation select. They only usually do, how many leaders have they done? They've done Galvatron and they've done the gray Shockwave. I think that's Am I right about that? So maybe they'll do Cryotech for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Beast Wars Megs mode if there was a select with that.
Well, there's not a lot of other things they can do with that mold directly.
Yeah. They did the exclusive, Phil, and they did the Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, the Target one and Jurassic Park. That's right. It was Target, not
T-Rex.
Not Generation Select.
So yeah, if they do Cryotech, my hunch would be a Generation Selects toy because they haven't done a leader since Galvatron.
And if they feel like it's not a well-known enough character to do what's on its own, they'll do a Flame War thing and sandwich it into Shattered Glass.
I'm just glad I'm getting the toy.
It's kind of annoying that we don't have the alt modes yet. Like a lot of these, that's really the missing link here, and I think that's what they're keeping people dangled on a string to make these not completely forgettable, is to leave the alt modes to, your imagination for now. We did see the alt mode on this guy and Skullgrin though, because we got pictures of the back of the box, which I think came from SDCC. Blows my mind that they didn't get the other boxes though.
Oh, speaking of boxes, they showed Star Saber in box.
Oh yeah, oh man, that looks so good. I forgot about that. Like they did a really cool job with the packaging, I feel like.
I'm bummed because I just feel like they didn't give us enough time to back that HasLab, and so it just like I was waiting on one more paycheck come in, and it just ran out. Like 5 minutes after the HasLab ended, I tried to buy it, and said it was blocked off.
I'll trade you mine for the Planet X version.
I don't have the Planet X version of that, so I'll have to. Yeah.
They should have checked with you, Phil. What were they thinking?
I know. Why did they not check with me? And then they should have checked with me that I was on vacation, like driving to St. Louis when they had that panel going on. So I couldn't watch it. Like I'm very, very upset with Hasbro because of this.
I'm shocked that they spend, and there is a value to this. It's almost like a future-proofing thing that they spend so much time showing off something that you can't buy anymore. They don't have to do an unboxing. They're not selling it to anyone. It's sold. Like it's done. It's almost to make. It's like I think it's psychological warfare against people that chose not to buy the thing, because I did start seeing people saying, "Oh, now I regret it that I've seen the box." Like what? Like, okay, so there is something going on there.
Yeah,
it looks
and
great.
They did the HasLab Galactus reveal the night before, and that also just hit it out of the frickin' park. Oh yeah, the accessory figures that it comes with look amazing. That the Marvel Legends HasLab stuff has been, I think, the best HasLabs they've done. I'll be curious to see how Starsaber comes out in hand. Certainly Unicron, is fairly well liked. A little bit of mixed reviews there, but yeah. Teased a Marvel Legends Ghost Rider car HasLab, which makes me wonder if Starsaber was sort of a trial balloon to see if they could do sort of like mid-tier HasLab kind of things. So something that would be not as big as, say, Unicron or a Sentinel or Galactus, but something that they could sell for $200 that they're not sure if they could sell normally. At a store, at a retailer.
Sounds like Anna's having some regret herself. She was not as impressed by the unboxing of Starsaber.
I mean, to each their own. I mean, Anna likes her thing, and she is more than welcome to dislike her things as well. So
I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like that Victory Saber overall, it looks really good. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say what it's going to be like in hand, but I think that with, the box and whatever, for the animation and all the things that they included and all that, I'm excited for it. I realize, the Planet X version is going to be a different thing, to me, but, I think for this, if you want, it's pretty animation accurate to me. I mean, I don't know, to be honest, I think I'd almost rather have, I think I'd just as well have this as I would the Masterpiece version of Starsaber, but I was never that impressed by the Masterpiece version of Starsaber specifically.
Anna says his hands are tiny. Trash! Throw it out. Just throw it in the garbage.
On the ground.
Those Micromasters, this is such a stupid thing. Those Micromasters look awesome. They come with it. I'm so glad everything funded. That thing would be such a disaster if it didn't fully fund.
It does. I will say the additional backer levels were probably the most disappointing thing of that toy. With especially now if we saw all the cool crap that the His Tank is coming with, where you're getting 4 additional figures and add-ons to make the His Tank even bigger. It's what did we get for Starsaber? He comes with a stand and a cannon and a shield he should have come with to begin with. And instead of all the little guys he came with, he's only going to come with 2 of them. So it was the least expensive HasLab they've done. So I get it. The His Tank is almost twice as much. But it still feels a little bit like we got gypped.
Were you channeling your inner Nick right there? It certainly sounded like it.
That feels more like Peter with upset about not getting all of the additional little Micromaster guys. Because Peter is much more into the Japanese stuff than I am. So
the Japanese Micromasters, you could probably sell those for a pretty penny. To be honest, you probably make half your money back just selling those things.
Yeah,
if you know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they look good. I don't know why I'm pointing out the Micromasters. They just something about their colors and the way it matches the big figure, and I see how they're packaged. I'm just like, ooh, those made me feel good to see those.
I think the tough thing with the Japanese Transformers is that for American audiences, we probably don't have that much exposure to the animation. We've all, I'm sure a lot of us have seen it. We've seen stills. We've seen the animation. We probably have more exposure to the toy itself. And so it's well, do they make this to be more similar to the toy, where it's going to be big and blocky and look more like a brick, or do they make it more like the animation? And even the animation was pretty blocky looking. So it's these are tougher toys to do. And then you get the Planet X versions, which are more IDW style, which is this is the Planet X looks way better. It's well, A, it's a lot more expensive, and B, it's not that much more expensive. It's a lot more expensive, and it's also from a different design. You know, you're talking a Milne design versus an 80s Japanese cartoon design. Yeah, you're going to have more detail in the Milne design one.
Yeah.
Ron says that Starsaber is better than the last two Star Wars offerings.
He's not wrong.
No.
Those didn't get funded.
No.
Well, what was that thing like? Cobra Rancor is a unlock with the Hiss tank.
I think one of my favorite memes is the Return of the Jedi shot with all the Force ghosts, and it's just like the Rancor and the lightsaber in the background.
It's just so, oh man.
Oh.
A toy company making stuff for kids, trying to make it for adults, just they're gonna get roasted forever.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
Oh, man.
And they just have to, you know, like if I were on that team, you see that stuff and it probably hurts. Probably hurts your feelings to see that, but it's funny.
I'm sure, like
it's
if
like the old
whoever the
Futurama
designer is for
Zoidberg
that,
thing.
it doesn't fund, you know.
No, it's not. Well, he probably has the only prototype ever, so he's the one laughing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming that's Hasbro property, so he probably doesn't even have that.
No, I was gonna say, talk to Rick. He's got plenty of that kind of shit.
Okay.
I mean, that was a different time, but
yeah.
True. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably different now than it was back then. But
is that everything? Literally.
That was it for all of the official leaks and drops.
They did show the 5-pack of the movie toys, which was sort of a pre-San Diego exclusive drop.
Yeah, and that was sold out before San Diego started.
Not on
That's
Amazon.
like the same day, didn't it? Oh, is it still available?
That's right. It's an Amazon thing.
Yeah. That was sort of sneaky where it was like on Pulse and sold out kind of quick on Pulse. And then that evening, it's like, here's the link for it on Amazon. And I was like, oh, wait, what? So, yeah.
It's a cool set.
It is. If you like the movies and you know, like Paul said, you've kind of just gotten back into Transformers, here you go. Here's your core 5.
I mean, there's 2 toys in that set that it would cost you $200 to buy right now. Yeah. So I'd say it's a good purchase. If you don't
likelihood we'll get a multi-pack of Decepticons at some point. Maybe like a 3-pack of Barricade, Megatron, and Starscream.
Yeah, it's trickier because they're all bigger, you know. The only one that's a deluxe is Barricade.
Yeah, like I said, a 3-pack. They're not all as well known as the Autobots are either.
Yeah, that would be super cool. It'd be really cool if they added a Frenzy in there.
Yeah.
But you know what? We don't work for Hasbro, so we ain't going to make those calls.
Oh.
You just pray. Spray and pray.
all right. Well, I guess is there anything else we want to cover, or we should call it a night here?
I'm sure there's something we missed. Anyone in the chat want to stop us from embarrassing ourselves by not mentioning something?
Covered Earthspark, all the Earthspark, all the toy reveals.
Oh, did we mention the Entertainment Earth exclusive?
We did.
Did we? Okay.
Catherine did.
Yeah.
Breaker.
We talked about Crasher, but just that it existed. No, it wasn't. That was a leak before.
Right. Leaks are the only thing we didn't touch. But you could almost make a whole nother week out of those leaks.
Did we see pictures of other leaks though besides Crasher? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I think every other week the show is we do a leak episode because there's so many leaks that come out.
Right, exactly.
And quite frankly, it saves our brain cells from having to think of a creative topic.
Pretty much.
Beast Wars reissues. Ron brought up a good point. Yeah, Pterosaur and the Pill Bug for the Beast Wars reissue, which I made the mistake of thinking that the Pterosaur Beast Wars reissue on Pulse was the Target Buzzworthy Bumblebee Pterosaur. So I ordered one and then had to cancel it the next day once I realized that was not the right thing. I was caught up in the excitement of all the new pre-orders showing up. I was at a farmer's market getting food before we drove down to St. Louis.
We didn't talk about the Flame Toys stuff.
We didn't talk about the Marvel Legends stuff.
That was Wonderfest, right? WonderCon, something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they were. Maybe it was because that was going on. I thought it was at. No, it was at San Diego.
Was it
Flame
San
Toys
Diego
was
as
there.
well? Okay.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff was there.
Yeah,
Man, I mean, Flame Toys.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
I mean, I feel like there's so much cool Flames Toy stuff. You need to not collect any other Transformers and just get those statues, if that's what if you're gonna get any of them. I have the expensive Optimus, and it is awesome, but like you can't get them all. You know, they're like $300 a piece. Like the Rodimus looks amazing. There's a Starscream coming that looks pretty good. Just the real good ones are those Kara Curry, the expensive ones. They don't transform, but they just like have a presence that kind of just everything else pales in comparison.
They have a Jazz that looks really good too.
Jazz looks awesome.
Tars.
Yeah, that
Tars
was the
been
first
out
one.
for a while, but Jazz is
that thing
new.
looks just amazing too. Yeah.
Is it Flame Toys that's doing the Optimus with the crazy weird fat suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's another one of those Kara Curry. Kara Curry.
It's like this Optimus Prime combining with Jetfire sort of thing, but hyper stylized, and it makes them look very chonky.
These are not the model kits. The model kits are also fantastic if you like doing that stuff. But these are quite a few steps beyond those.
Real quickly, I would say things we didn't see. So we talked about we didn't see any red, and we also didn't see any new Super 7. So I'm not sure if either of those, like Super 7, I don't know if they really showed off anything new announcement-wise. So I don't know if they were in the market to do that for this show. But I don't know, it makes you wonder what the status is of non-transforming Transformer toys.
Well, except for the Flame Toys.
Well, the Flame Toys, but those things are, like Paul said, for a very specific demographic, and I don't have the income to be in that demographic.
Right. A little bit different.
Yeah. So. Paul, we should have stolen the one that was in the table next to us at TFCon a few years back.
I would have, yeah, we could have been felons.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, book club this week is going to be First Strike 1 through 3. That's going to be at Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on the TF Talk Discord. So check that out. And of course, all of these leaks and everything are constantly being talked about, discussed in the TF Talk Discord. So if you want to go there and keep up with a lot of the Transformers news, Antoine also does a fantastic job of keeping our page up to date on tftalk.net and the Facebook page as well. But the Discord is a good place to kind of discuss what you think of everything and whatever too. So
that's actually one of the best places to get news is our Discord.
Yeah, everyone's tripped over themselves.
Yeah,
everyone trips over themselves to be first on there.
I don't know why, but it's great. It's great to see. Oh, I haven't looked for 60 minutes, and there's 60 new messages, and 20% of that is stuff I didn't know. So, way to go, team.
So, but it's a nice community. It's free of some of the issues that you have in other groups and Facebook areas and whatnot. So
I mean, there's temporary moments of insanity, let's say, that we deal with.
Yeah,
and that's why we didn't have an actual TFYLP correspondent at San Diego. I mean, Anna got our press pass taken away, when she stalked Benedict Cumberbatch that one year. So, you know, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Thanks, but yeah, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Zaldron, Antoine, Transformatics. Thanks to Ron, Melvar, Josh. Thanks to, let's see who else. Adam. Let's see if I'm missing anyone. I apologize. Jay was in there as well. Trent's. Anna was in there late, of course, talking about D&D and how much of a bomb that movie is going to be. All right, well, I think that's it. But thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Adios.